Hey guys, Mr. Mimikyu here, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing the team that brought me to Veteran in the Ultra Premier level 50. And of course, my opponent having a Charizard, while I'm having a Charizard, I go for Dragon Claw, we grab a shield, and I decide to let the first move go. You know, it's probably a Dragon Claw, which it is, and they get off another. I'm going to shield up here to match shields, and you know what? I'm probably just going to like full send the Blast Burn. They try to catch, and sure enough, I did throw in the Blast Burn, and that was kind of silly, and I tried to catch a Hydro Cannon, but I know it wouldn't be that necessary though. We can let this go as it is a Hydro Cannon. I know for a fact that Swampert doesn't run Sludge Wave in the Ultra League, because why would you run Sludge Wave? Like, there isn't that many fairy types though, aside from like Togekiss, and even though the thing is, like, Charm got nerfed, so why bother? You can just run Earthquake. And sure enough, we take them down. They bring back in the Charizard. I'm going to go for Shadow Ball here to see if we can KO them. But of course, they grab their last shield. I sniped them with a Blast Burn, which was completely unnecessary. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that though. But at the very least, I can just go for a Dragon Claw here to do some neutral damage to the Walrein. And we get taken out though. And I'm going to wait out my clock. I bring in my own Walrein. At this point, they just quit. To be honest though, like, I've had like 3-4-1s with this team, and of course a Galvantula. Now, how am I going to play this out? Like, oh my goodness, how am I going to play this out? This is pretty awkward, I would say. Like, you know, like, Galvantula beats my entire team. Like, you know, it does neutral to Trevenant, super effective against Walrein and Charizard, since, you know, those Volt switches, and of course Discharge doing damage though, and of course I bring in Trevenant though. I'm going to tank whatever they throw here. It is a lunge, you know, farm it down. And here they bring in Pelipper. What I ended up doing was a stupid mistake by me, is that I should have thrown the Shadow Ball, and I actually did not. And of course, I end up CMP tying to the Weather Ball, which was just, oh my god, I feel kind of silly that I did that though. It just makes me feel sick to my stomach. And of course they have as a Galarian Stunfisk. This game is pretty much over. I can't do anything about it unless if I can land this Earthquake, which would be nice though, which we do. Bring it down into the yellow. And of course I notice is that their Stunfisk is not completely maxed out, which is like, what? But anyways, shield up the Rock Slide, and of course this is basically going to become apparent here. You know, this is very scary. 3, 4, and of course right here I could have just thrown in an extra Powder Snow, but the thing is, I know for a fact he would have killed me anyways. And of course the Pelipper does have a move, and yeah, that was pretty close. I'll say though, like, even though it was pretty close, but that's okay. And of course next opponent having a Dragonite lead. Now they are running Dragon Claw, and of course they catch the Blast Burn onto Swampert here. I'm going to bank up all that energy, catch a Hydro Cannon just like how they did with their Swampert, and it barely doesn't do anything. I know for a fact that my Trevenant's not like ideal IVs, but this is like a non-XL one that I built up back in June of last year because I wanted to try out Trevenant to see if it was worth it in the Ultra League, because, you know, Trevenant's pretty strong. But then again, the problem is that now that Wing Attack got a buff, it's kind of scary for it. So at best, you really don't want to like have Trevenant face off against the Flyers, especially like even other things that aren't Flyers, like Scrafty for example. And of course I'm going to throw in the Blast Burn here against the Ampharos. Didn't know if they shield it or not. I'm gonna like let this go. Ends up becoming a Thunder Punch. They undercharge it, or maybe they no bubble it. And now this is kind of like iffy though. So if you saw the short there, they basically, like, you know, I build up another Powder Snow. I go for a second shield, and they try to catch the Earthquake on the Dragonite, but guess what? Boom! Icicle Spear right in the face, and now we can just go Earthquake and take down the Ampharos, and that's a good game, well played. Even though I felt trapped, but I was able to come back from it. And of course Swampert, of course, horrible, right? You gotta play this out though. You can't just go into Trevenant though, because they're probably just gonna go into something that would hard counter it, like Scrafty. And of course they try to catch the Blast Burn on the Tentacruel. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm just going to throw in some Dragon Claw. I go into Wall Rain though, you know, do some damage here. I'm gonna let this go. It's a Sludge Wave, of course, you know. Most Tentacruels nowadays tend to run Sludge Wave and Scald. And of course with Scald though, you can now finally have some more flexibility, and you can lower your opponent's attack, especially how tanky Tentacruel really is. And what's funny is that Tentacruel actually has the same stat total as Toedscruel. It's kind of funny though. But the thing is, like, Toedscruel isn't available in Pokemon Go right now, but it is, like, considered to be a counterpart to Tentacruel. And of course, like, here they have is the Swampert. I'm just gonna let everything go. Go for a Hydro Cannon. They catch the Seed Bomb on the Skarmory. Oh my god. I'm kind of mad about that, but then again, I can just throw in a Blast Burn here to see if we can grab their last shield. But they let it go, which is like, huh? And of course, I'm going to throw in a Dragon Claw, see if we could grab the last shield, but nope, they just let it go. Good game, well played. Moving on to the next match, we got Toxicroak. Now just thinking to myself, they switch in the Wall Ring. I'm thinking, is this the Zionic team that he showcased in the Ultra Premier level 50? If so, then okay. I mean, let's try and play this out here. Let's go for a Dragon Claw here. At the very least, we can have Trevenant lined up to the, Toxicroak and the, Wall Rain against Ampharos. I know it seems silly, but yet, like, two of my Pokemon are weak to Ampharos. We're able to farm it down, so that's good to know. And of course, they're probably going to bring in the Ampharos, and sure enough, they did. I threw on Misaligned. I should have, like, threw in an extra wing attack, but I just didn't want to get killed by the Volt Switch. Now, this is kind of scary, though, because, you know, we're both at one shield here. They try to, like, catch the Icicle Spear. And basically, I feel stupid that I misplayed after shielding up the Sludge Bomb, as you can see right here. I go for, I think it was the Seed Bomb, go for 2 Seed Bombs, and I end up getting hit by a Sludge Bomb. That was kind of my fault, though, in this match, though, because, like, if I had gone Shadow Ball, then I probably wouldn't have taken this Sludge Bomb damage, because, you know, like, Toxicroak hits very hard, but it is pretty glassy, and this is very scary though. They have a shield left. I might as well just go for a Shadow Ball, and we end up KOing them because they try to call a Seed Bomb. And of course, next opponent having a Sylveon. Now, to be fair, Sylveon would love to get Fairy Wind. Why? Because it would help out getting to charge moves much faster than Quick Attack. And then, although the downside with Fairy Wind is that you don't do a lot of fast move pressure. And of course, out comes a Swampert. I'm just going to go for a Blast Burn to see if we can do some meaningful damage. And of course, we're down into the yellow. They end up throwing on the Dragon Claw, which probably is going to cost him his game. And sure enough, we bring him down into the red. And of course, they threw a Hydro Cannon. And of course, they concede the match. Because of that mistake, they just concede. And of course, Kanto Muck. Now, this is pretty tricky because Kanto Muck kind of core breaks the entire team because it can hit Trevenant for super effective with Dark Pulse. It can hit both Charizard and Walrein for Thunder Punch. They try to catch a Blast Burn, but I threw Dragon Claw, which is like, oh, burn. I didn't expect the switch, but holy cow, I'm just like predicting switches. Like, dang. Like, I'm not known for predicting switches here in Go Battle League, but dang. That's pretty impressive by me. Here they have is a Scrafty. I'm going to go for Earthquake and, you know, bring him down into the yellow. I'm fine with them letting me go. I can just go into Charizard here. And to be honest, like, I know, like, Trevenant would be a bad play. I'm just going to go for Dragon Claw. See if we can grab a shield. Sure enough, we did. I'm going to, like, try and let this move go through. No, wait, it's a foul play. I shield that up. Go into Trevenant. Catch the Thunder Punch since, you know, they caught the, Dragon Claw under their Haxorus. Might as well get payback for them. They're building up a lot of energy. I throw in the Shadow Ball to the CMP tied to the Dark Pulse, which of course is going to take me out, but that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to like pursue like a aggressive farm with Charizard. I don't want to like get taken out here. I'm just going to go for a Dragon Claw. Sure enough, we bring him down. I'm going to go for a Blast Burn. See if we can KO the Scrafty because, you know, it's all fun and games, and down it goes. Good game. And of course, next opponent, Obstagoon. Now, thankfully, Walrein doesn't have to see it because then again, the counters would be doing super effective damage in addition to maybe the Cross Chop because, like, you know, it is Obstagoon's standard moveset, Though most of the time you probably see those Obstagoons carry their community day move in the form of Obstruct, which would boost their defense while also lowering my defense, which would just be pretty awful to see though. And of course, I go for Dragon Claw here. We grab their second and final shield. You know what? Let's Blast Burn this Badger. And down it goes. Holy cow, that was pretty awesome though. Of course, they have a Swampert. I could have just chipped with Dragon Claw, but I feel silly to let it go. And of course, they have as a Venusaur. I have a Walrein. I have a pretty much a shield advantage. You know, I'm just going to let this go. Trust in Trevenant to close this game out. You know, it's all fine and dandy. We're just going to go for Icicle Spear here. And to be honest, though, we bring it down into the red, though. And you know what? I'm just going to shield for caution here, just in case it is a Sludge Bomb, which it is. And, you know, they just concede the match. To be honest, though, it's not often you'd see this happen, though. And, of course, my opponent having a Swampert. We all know how to play this out. Shield once, and, of course, try and see if we can grab some shields with, like, the Dragon Claw Blast Burn. Now that with Wing Attack buff, you know, we can get to our charge moves at the exact same time, while also pressurizing CMP. So I've thrown a Blast Burn to see if we can bring it down into yellow or red, and sure enough we do. It is a CMP tie. I'd rather take shield advantage rather than like taking it down though. We bring in Trevenant, you know, we can let everything go. Earthquake is resisted, Hydro Cannon is resisted, what more can I say? Everything here is resisted. They have a Walrein, and this is pretty much scary though because, you know, like, Walrein's pretty strong, right? You know, with that Icicle Spear, even though it did get nerfed last season, like, yeah, I know, I made the prediction, they have a Machamp. This is pretty much kind of scary, though, because, oh gosh, this is like, oh man, this is pretty bad for me, you know? Might as well just go for Earthquake rather than wasting for 2 Icicle Spears, because I know for a fact that it wouldn't have happened. My opponent got nervous, though, they thought I glitched out or something, but the thing is, I decided to, like, you know, get some extra farm on Trevenant. I know it seems stupid though because this is pretty much a terrible matchup for me. And of course they do survive. It is a CMP tied to the Icicle Spear and this is pretty much game over, right? Nope. We actually survived, which is kind of surprising. Probably because my opponent had glitched out. But either way, that's a good game. Next opponent having a Greedent. Now, to be fair, like, Greedent is pretty spammy, I'll say, like, you know, with that Bullet Seed combination, and a little bit less spammier if you run Tackle, since like with Tackle you can do like a same type attack bonus. I almost said neutral, but then I realized, whoops, that's okay, you know. Pressurize this thing with Dragon Claw, take it down, and of course they have as a Samurott here. They try to like farm me down with Fury Cutter. I don't think it's going to happen though because Fury Cutter is double resisted. Here they throw at the improbable timing, which is like, huh? Why would you throw right here? That's kind of silly though. And you know, come to think of it, I'm going to like let this Mega Horn go through. Does a lot of damage, and of course they just concede the match. Moving on to the next set, we got another Dragonite. Now, I'm pretty sure you know how we play this out here. They try to catch a Dragon Claw, but I decide to throw in a Blast Burn against their Charizard. Sure enough, we get the shield, which is like, hello? You know what? I'm thinking to myself, let's shield up and then try and see if we can grab another shield with Blast Burn. Do we? Of course, they double shield. They, aside from the Charizard, I mean, it seems silly to go into Walrein, but at the same time, it actually makes sense though, because like Trevenant doesn't want to like see the Dragonite, but they gave up switch advantage to go into Machamp. What the heck? Oh my goodness, like, what? Why would you give up switch advantage there, mister? Oh my goodness. And here, I'm gonna like shield up just in case it was a payback, but it ends up becoming a Rock Slide, so now we could just farm down. Actually, we sniped with a Charizard, and man, this is kind of scary though. But at the very least, we're able to get off a Dragon Claw here and do some damage here. They bring back in the Dragonite. At this point here, we can tank one move. No one move here kills us unless they have Hurricane, which nowadays Dragonite doesn't need Hurricane because of Walrein. And of course, next opponent, Olongo. Game over, right? Let's play it out, shall we? Of course, I shield up the Rock Blast, and basically I go for a Dragon Claw here to do some neutral damage, and you know what? I'm gonna let the Charizard go. At this point, I don't really need it. No matter what, Alolan Golem is a core breaker, but the thing is, like, Trevenant can like hit it super effective with C-Bomb. She double shields, which is like, oh, so they must be weak to Trevenant in the back, and ends up becoming a Venusaur, which kind of makes sense though, but at the same time, thinking about it, not much to say. And of course, I shield up last second in case it was a Sludge Bomb, but it ends up becoming a Frenzy Plant, and we're able to farm down, which is nice. And of course, who does she bring back in? The Alolan Golem? Of course, the Alolan Golem. And to be honest though, like, I could try and overfarm just a little bit, and sure enough I did. I go for Icicle Spear. I know it seems kind of unnecessary, and of course they have his Gallade, and you know what, I'm just going to go for Earthquake here. I know for a fact that Trevenant can tank a close combat or even a Leaf Blade. Like, Leaf Blade is resisted, close combat is double resisted. There's no way they can have Synchronoise, and they just concede the match. Oh my goodness, that was like pretty close, I'll say this. Now Jellicent. Now, this is kind of bad though, because like, sure, Bubble Beam hits super effective, but the thing is, it doesn't hit very hard, but the thing is, it's Charizard, right? It's made of paper. Of course, they shield up the Blast Burn. I shield up in case it was Shadow Ball, but no, I got baited like a stupid person, and it ended up becoming a Bubble Beam, and I let it go because I'm more of an idiot. And of course oh my goodness. And of course they have a Scrafty. Oh shoot, this is kind of bad because, like, you know, this is a one-to-one shielding scenario. And sure enough, we end up CMP tying to the foul play. I should have, like, you know, shielded up, you know, preserve health, but the thing is, like, why would I bother? You know what, I'm just gonna go for the back-to-back Seed Bomb, you know, take it out, see if we can, you know, take this thing out and preserve a switch advantage, but nope, they decided to shield up the Scrafty. Like, huh? And I notice the CP is 2494. So anyone that sees the 2494 Scrafty will automatically assume it's a 91515. Don't ask why, I always think that. Even though, like, you should never assume though, because you're making a donkey out of yourself, but at the very least, you're being honest though. I shield up a Shadow Ball, in comes the Alolan Ninetales. I'm like, oh man, this is where I wish I had Charizard. But I don't, because I am a complete silly person. Big Dazzling Gleam here, it's going to do a lot of damage, and here I shouldn't have thrown at CMP. What was I thinking? Oh my goodness, that was just crucial. But then again, I don't know if, like, throwing at CMP would have made a difference though. Out comes Charizard. I gave him a free Hex! Oh my goodness, this is just going from bad to worse, and there's no way I'm going to win this match. They're just going to throw in a Shadow Ball, and that's a good game to my opponent. They pretty much had me there. I thought I was going to come out of it, but nope, I did not, and they just threw in the Shadow Ball, and that's a good game. Moving on to the last and final match of the video, I think it is, if I'm mistaken, and of course is a Machamp. They try to, like, go into Wall Ring, which is like, huh? At the very least, you know, like, we do take neutral from the Icicle Spear. I'm going to throw in a Blast Burn. Sure enough, we grab the shield, and we're going to try and catch the Icicle Spear, and oh my goodness, we actually did. Like, to be honest, I know I am pretty, like, outsmarting my opponent here. I'm just going to throw in the Earthquake. You know, I know I didn't want to throw right away because of losing CMP. I go for the Earthquake. They give up Switch Advantage, which is like, sheesh. Why is everyone giving up Switch Advantage? Like, golly. Like, stop giving up Switch Advantage. You shouldn't be doing that. Like, sheesh. Oh my goodness. And they shield up the Machamp. And you know what? I'm gonna, like, let this go. I don't know why, but just because I can. Sure enough, I'm, like, pretty low in the health, and of course, they bring back in the Wall Rain, and I'm gonna shield up here. It is an Icicle Spear. We're gonna, like, throw in the Seed Bomb, but what do you know? They caught it onto a Togekiss. What? Ah! It's disgusting, and it's an Air Slash one, which is like, oh shoot, this is bad for me. But thank goodness I was able to get to the Shadow Ball, and you know what? I believe that's how it's supposed to be like, you know. And of course, they throw in a Seed Bomb, or Icicle Spear. God, I can't talk today. And this is kind of scary though, but at the very least, you know, I have like Wall Ring as a sack swap though. And then I could just throw in a Blast Burn, take him out, and that's a good game. Oh wait, it isn't the last match. Maybe this one is. I honestly have no idea what set is which though. They switch out immediately, anticipating me to go into wall rain, but I decided to stay in, go for a Dragon Claw. We grab the shield, and you know what? I'm gonna let this go, thinking that's a Dragon Claw. Never mind, I shielded up. What the heck? I'm kind of getting myself off topic a bit with this moveset here, but yet that's pretty much fine with me. Go for a blast burn. We grab their second shield, which is what? I catch what I hope is a Dragon Claw on the Trevenant because Trevenant has nothing towards this guy's team. And you know what? I'm just going to let Trevenant go down because I think it has done its job here. And of course, I end up throwing the CMP to the Seed Bomb, which really didn't help. They bring back in the Dragonite, and the moment I bring in the Wall Rain, they're pretty much screwed here. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me hitting Veteran in the Go Battle League. Be sure to like. A like is very much appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to ring that bell for notifications. And until next time, this is Mr. Mimikyu, and I'm saying peace out. And with that, folks, we are able to hit the Veteran rank for the Go Battle League Mythical Wishes, where we are able to get the Steven Stone shoes inspired by his avatar from Pokemon Ruby Sapphire, in addition to its remakes.